You feel like you're failing in this mortgage thing? If you are, you're actually in good company. And one of the reasons why you're not as successful is because you are not failing enough. Hey, I'm DJ Christofferson, been a licensed loan officer since the end of 2009. I've been a top 0.5% producer in this country. I've helped build multiple branches and multiple teams, helped coach hundreds of loan officers across the country. In my days, I focus on helping loan officers build and scale mortgage careers that they love. All right, that's a long introduction. So let's talk about this thing called failure and the way that we look at it as people. Now, Michael Jordan is arguably the best basketball player of all time. I think he's the best basketball player of all time. And he has this famous quote that he says. It's kind of like they actually did an ad campaign on it. And he talks about all the different things that he failed at. And I don't remember all the things that he listed, but all these different things that he failed at. But at the end of it, he goes, the reason I succeed is because he failed. I failed, and that's what led to his success. And that's what we need to focus on, is that failure is not a bad thing. It is a good thing if you channel it correctly. So I want to talk to you about 4 different F's, 4 different types of failure that you need to implement in your business. And if you do, you will grow. My success is littered with failure. And I'll tell you about my failures have led to my success. All right, so what is this first F? The first F is fail fast. One of the problems loan officers have is that they jerk around before they get to anything. They got to get everything just right. They want to start calling realtors. So I got to get my script. I got to get my, practice for 37 days. I have to have my CRM dialed in. I have to do all this stuff. They try to perfect everything and they don't take immediate action. You need to take fast action. The faster you take action, the faster you get feedback in order to see what is actually working. And one of the problems too, when you don't take action quickly, all that anxiety of you thinking about the action you want to take builds up, and it makes it less likely that you'll ever do it. Now, I was talking about making cold calls or calls, but you can apply that to, let's say you want to do video or social media, or you want to do email marketing, or you want to do, ads or whatever it is that we try to and spend too much time trying to dial things in and trying to make it just right, but we don't even know what just right is. So the first thing we need to do to get to success is that we need to fail fast. So we need to take action very quickly. But not only do we need to take action quickly, here comes to the second F, is that we need to fail forcefully. Now, what do I mean by fail forcefully? Well, here's the typical thing. A loan officer will go after something. And let's just say I go back to the calls because that's something that we can all kind of get familiar with, or even say in doing videos, is that they will dabble in it. They will test it out just a little bit. They make, a few calls and say, this didn't work for me, or I made 3 videos and it didn't work for me. And then they give up and they move to the next thing too quickly. If you're going to try something, you got to try it fast, but you have to put a lot of effort into it. If you're going to start making calls, you need to make a lot of calls and you need to go at it with gusto. If you wanted to go to open houses, you can't just go to 7 open houses and decide that you're done with it. It didn't work. No, you have to put intense effort into it. And the more intense effort, the more feedback you get in order to see is what needs to be changed. For instance, if you are doing calls, or let's say you're going to open houses, let's talk about going to open houses, and you go to 10 open houses. That will give you enough feedback, a little bit of feedback. Ideally, you want to go 20, 30, but it's like, what can I do differently to improve on what I did? Or if you're cold calling realtors is, okay, I talked to 30 realtors or I talked to 50 realtors. What changes can I make in my script to make it better? Now, when it comes to also failing forcefully is that you got to think of it as like a science experiment. Is that if you're making calls, is that use the same script and talk to 50 realtors before you make any adjustments. Because if you do 50 different scripts for every call that you make, you talk to 50 realtors and you have 50 different ways that you say it, you don't get any really good feedback on what changes that you can make, whether it's the opener, whether it's the ask, or whatever it is. So you got to fail fast. You have to fail forcefully, and then third, you have to fail frequently. So let's just say you are trying the calling thing and you realize that that's not for you and you do it a bunch of calls, it's not what you want to do. It's like, okay, I can't do it. Then you have to be willing to move to something else, and then you have to repeat the process. So if I'm going from calls, now I want to try social media marketing, I have to do it fast, take action quickly, I have to do it forcefully, and I have to put enough effort and attention to it to get the actual feedback actual feedback to make changes. Like these videos that I'm doing now, is the quality of these videos where they are today, they're gonna be better in 6 months because I'm applying the exact same principle. I'm taking action fast, I'm gonna do it forcefully, and then I'm gonna make adjustments as I needed, right? So you gotta fail fast, fail forcefully, fail frequently, and then the fourth one is that you need to fail forward. And that's the part of the mindset, is that every failure that you have, is if you have the right mindset, this is getting you closer to the optimal way that you want to do it. Because once you figure it out, you figure out your cold calling campaign, or you figure out your social media game, or your open house strategy, then it's a matter of, okay, now I need to scale it. I need to put a ton of effort into doing it the right way, because you're going to find a bunch of ways to do it wrong. You think of Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, and the old adage is, they asked him, hey, how does it feel to fail 10,000 times making a light bulb? And he says, I didn't fail 10,000 times to make a light bulb. I just found 10,000 ways how not to make a light bulb. He did the same thing in making the light bulb. Fail fast, fail forcefully, fail frequently, and then he failed forward until he found the right thing. And then look at us today. I got the lights here and all that stuff. Our world's completely changed. Now, are you to do something as great as inventing the light bulb? Probably not. But you can do things that are dramatically going to change your business. So if you're failing in this business, that's okay. Fail more, but fail with intention. Take the right actions. You might not know what the right action is. And how do you find out what the right action is? It's through failure. So change failure in your mind to something bad to actually, that's something good that's going to get you to where you want. So if this resonates with you, do me a favor. Share this with some other loan officers that could use this type of information. And then give me a like, give me a subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, that's all I got for you today or on this video. I'll see you in the next one.